Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Rob and today we're going to be painting some Space Marines with the new Combat 7 set from the Army Painter. So if you haven't seen these yet, these are 7 colours that you can use to paint your armies. All sorts of armies, but for me it's going to be obviously Warhammer, and I thought I'd give it a go on a Blood Angels Primaris Marine. Big thank you to Crusader Games for sending me this Marine to do this painting tutorial on, and I hope it's going to be useful for you guys because we're going to keep it pretty simple today. It's quite a short tutorial, we're going to keep it simple, but as I say, all the colours that you need for this tutorial are in the new Crimson Relic set. And we'll also be using black and white on top of that as well. And that's it. That's all the colours you need. In fact, all the colours you would need to get an army of these guys off the ground. Now, in terms of the actual scheme, this is based off the Angels of Sol, who a creator called 40 Cake kind of created not too long ago, but I couldn't find him on Instagram anymore. He appears to have disappeared, but he did a competition not too long ago, and I submitted an entry for that kind of a little while ago, but I thought I'd revisit it with the new Combat 7 set. So we are going to start off with our miniature being primed white, and then we're going to use Ancient Stone. Now you might think, whoa, this is crazy, he's doing a Crimson Relic set, but it's mainly going to be kind of like this white armor. Yeah, because the Army Painter have already done an absolutely awesome Blood Angels tutorial, so I thought I'd just switch it up a little bit, do something different, and just show you how versatile these sets actually are. So we're just applying Ancient Stone all over the model, 2 thin coats of this, and Bob's your uncle, away you will go. Once we've done that, we're going to use soft tone all over the cream armor, and this is obviously a wash. It's going into all the recesses, and it's defining our model, rendering our model for us. And just keep this relatively thin. You can add a little bit of water to this as well. Just make sure it's pooling in all the right places as you apply it. Next up, we're going to use our little mini makeup sponge once that's dry, and we're going to go back to our Ancient Stone, and then we're going to apply this over our model. Now the sponge is great because it's kind of it is pointed, but because of the nature of it, it can't get into all those nooks and crannies, which is great because that's where the wash has been left behind. So everything is pin washed really nicely, and then I'm just hitting the raised areas of the armor. Next up, we're going to go straight to matte white, and then we're just going to do some final kind of like highlights with this on our armor. You could leave it cream if you want to, but I just wanted to kind of show you what it would look like if we kind of like went to that next level, and I think it looks pretty awesome and pretty straightforward to do for white armor. Not too complicated, and that's mainly because we started over a white primer. Right, next up to our red elements. So we're going to paint our knee pad in pure red, and then the entirety of the arm and the shoulder pad we're going to paint in pure red as well. And again, this is the Angels of Sol kind of scheme. If you look this up on Instagram, you'll be able to find loads of examples of this. And yeah, it's a pretty cool scheme that 40 Cake came up with. I'm not sure kind of like the background. I think they're like Defenders of Terror. I think that was the whole kind of like vibe of it. Then we're going to use our dark red tone to wash the entirety of all the red parts that we've just done. This is a great wash for reds. And don't forget to use the code MEDAS5 for 5% off when you're purchasing from the Army Painter. Right, we're going to go back in with our sponge now. And then I'm just going to apply this over the raised areas exactly as we did with our white. So those kind of areas that have been washed, they're left in shadow and shade. And then the raised areas get hit with this pure red, creating quite a nice kind of transition. Really simple to do, really straightforward. These kind of small makeup sponges are absolutely brilliant. I'd highly recommend them. I'm sure if you've seen any of my videos before where I've used a sponge, I kind of come back to them time and time again. Raging Rose is going to be the next highlight, and this is just some small specular highlights here, nothing over the top. It's quite pinky in tone, so we don't need to use too much of this, but just some nice specular highlights there and that is enough. And then if there's any hard to reach places that you can't get to, you can just add those in with a brush. Right, next up we're going to mix ancient stone with our matte black, and this is going to create a nice greyish, a warmish grey I guess, because of the ancient stone chipping colour for us. And kind of like a grey colour always looks really nice being chipped against white. It's kind of really pleasant on the eye, I think. And then I'm just using a set of tweezers and a small bit of sponge and just applying this. Tweezers and makeup sponges will be raiding your partner's kind of toiletries to do all your hobby moving forward. And just apply this over the worn areas where you think chipping, hard edges, bottom of the feet, the power fist. If he's punching things all the time, there's not going to be much paint left over on those areas. So you apply however much chipping you think is appropriate. Next up, we're going to use Greedy Gold. Now, if you want it to give it a little bit more bite, you can add just a touch of black in to the Greedy Gold. I've added just a dash of black into this, just the smallest amount, and that just gives it a little bit more bite, so it's just a one coat paint. Also just changes the tone of the colour slightly as well, and darkens it down obviously, but you could just use straight up Greedy Gold if you wanted to. I'll leave that up to you. And then all the details get hit with the Greedy Gold. And then next up, once that's dried, we're then going to go back to our dark red tone. Reds, believe it or not, are absolutely fantastic for golds. They work really, really nicely as a wash. Kind of gives them kind of like an aged look. I always think of Lorgar Aurelian, his armor. When I think of like the box art, I always think of his being kind of like washed with purples and reds and stuff from the Horus Heresy range. And it just looks really, really cool, really exciting, and just a little bit different. If you're just washing it with like browns and blacks and things like that, then why not try red? Why not try purples? Give it a go, do something a little bit different, and you might come across something that you really like and enjoy. Next up, we're going to do all the soft armor joints, the bolter in this silver color. You could do this in black if you wanted to. I'm just showing you kind of, some of the main colors within the set, or in fact all of the colors within the set, and just what they would do. I often flip-flop between soft armor joints being in black or silver, whatever is right for you. Just I think it's just personal preference, but I'm just using silver for this one. Right, next up we're going to use our matte black again, and we're going to thin this right down with some water. You can see how thin that was, and we're just going to use this as a wash over our black areas. And this is just going to pull in all the recesses on our soft armor joints. You could, if you wanted to, use soft tone. I think certainly around the soft armor joints that would kind of create like almost like an oily feel to it. But I just wanted to show you something quick and easy if you've only got these 9 paints on hand. And then just wash this over those areas of silver. Just making sure that it's not pooling into all the wrong places and pooling into the right places. Right, next up, all the leather elements were given a base coat of black, and that includes the kind of like the rope as well. And then what you can see me doing here is just adding a little bit of grey, made from a 50-50 mix of matte black and matte white, and just highlighting some of those key edges and areas there. Really straightforward, really simple to do. You could take this further, add more white in and kind of create a dot highlight if you wanted to as well. I've just gone with something really simple with this tutorial today, really easy to achieve. Would look great across an army, and only using kind of 9 paints. Okay, win-win. You can refine that as and where you want to. But I think just rendering the shape on this I think is important. And you can see this is where we're at so far. I've just added some texture paint to the bottom, some sand and some rocks as well. And then I actually used a guide by Infernal Brush, just using the equivalent Army Painter paint equivalents for the base. And then here you can see that finished model all completed and all done. Really straightforward, a really set of simple kind of like colours. It just uses 9 colours. Your 7 from the Combat 7, and then plus the matte white and matte black, and you've got a fairly decent looking Space Marine ready to rock and roll. You could translate this to White Scars, you can translate this to other kind of White Legions, or you can just do this all in red if you wanted to as well. Make sure you check out the Army Painters tutorial on how they did their Blood Angels, because it's pretty awesome. But with that, I just want to say a few massive thank yous. Big thank you to all my patrons. Lots of hugs and kisses to you guys. Big thank you to you guys for watching as well. Huge thank you to the Army Painter for supporting me with these videos, and a big thank you to Crusader Games for supporting me all throughout this year with the models that I use in these tutorials as well. It's such a massive help, so make sure you go check out those guys and get your models from those guys as well. But with that, thanks ever so much for watching. Hope the tutorial was useful, and I shall see you guys on the next one.